and we're rolling. I spent my 28th birthday surrounded by people that love me and support me, and I spent a lot of my early 20s working in theme parks like Universal and Disney in a lot of different roles, and that's what a lot of you know me for on here. So here are some of the things that I've learned from both of those experiences and also life in general. Number 1. Basic needs are expensive. Lotion, razors, tank tops, underthings, they all add up really quickly. That is where a lot of my extra money tends to go to. Didn't realize how often I go through socks. But why are socks always missing? And what is the tea on that? When you are wearing underthings with holes in them, you do not feel your best, and I think that it really starts to show on your external if you're not feeling your best every day. Number 2, if you're going to invest in something, let it be shoes. Shoes are really important, especially when you're on your feet all day. Shout out to my theme park workers. The shoe that you're wearing really matters, and it doesn't have to be aesthetically pleasing. It needs to make sure that your back doesn't hurt, that your feet don't hurt, that your legs don't hurt, and if they do, then at least they're not hurting as much as they would be if you were not wearing those shoes. Get yourself some support and really figure it out now and lock that in, because a good pair of shoes will take you a long way. Number 3, everything you do in your early 20s will most likely have an impact on you in your late 20s. Think about how you want your body to feel later and start trying to do some of those things now. When I was in my early 20s, I honestly did not have any regard for how I was gonna feel today. And I wish that I had. I wish that I had started stretching at a younger age. And I know everyone tells you that, and you'll find out for yourself when you get there, but stretch. Just stretch. Just do an exercise, get your body used to it, start building your muscles now. Mobility is the number one thing that you will be grateful for later on in life, and I'm only 28 and I can already say that. In that vein, number 4, your nutrition is really important. Most of the people that I know, including myself, do not have a great relationship with food. They've had to work very hard to mend their relationship with food. Start dissecting what your relationship is to food and try to understand it as early as you can, because your nutrition is important and your body deserves to be fed appropriate amounts of food for it to sustain itself. And what people think is healthy doesn't necessarily mean it is going to be healthy for your body. So listen to your body, please. Number 5, mobility decreases over time, but you can build yours today. Just do it, please. I have hypermobility in my joints, and I'm just now starting to learn how to correct some of that. Make sure that the way that you're lifting, if you do lift, or the way that you're running isn't doing damage to yourself in the long run. Number 6, meditation can be hard. It's different for everyone, so find your method. Meditation, I think, is something that's very overlooked, but also oversold. I think what a lot of people think of is, okay, we've put on the meditation music, we're in our sound bath of YouTube, and we're laying down, and it's like we're trying to be silent and still. That can be a form of meditation. It can work, but meditation looks like anything. Meditation can mean going for a walk, listening to music while you go for said walk, sitting on the grass outside. There are different meditative activities for different people. Don't think just because one form doesn't work for you means that you'll never learn how to meditate. It is important to learn how to be alone with your thoughts. And I think in today's society, with the rise in social media, it's a lot harder to find ourselves in those moments where we truly just take time to sit alone with our thoughts. But it is so necessary. Try to figure out what that looks like for you. Number 7, your friendships reflect who you are and how you treat people. If you do not like the people that you are friends with, there is a chance that you may not be so fond of yourself. I found myself in friendships that were not fruitful when I did not have faith in myself, or when I was not feeling very positively about myself. You attract the people on the same energetic wavelength as you. If you don't believe that you deserve love, you will not find it. And that is just the truth. Number 8, don't be afraid to change your mind. Listen, if I had $1 for every time I changed my mind or my life path, I'd be rich, okay? It is impossible to know all of the things that are going to happen to you in your entire lifetime and accommodate for them now, especially when you're like 18. It is not necessary that you know what you're doing for the rest of your life. And I'm so over people trying to tell you that it is. Stop that. Ignore them. It is your life. You are the only person who gets to live it, and people will judge you no matter what you do. Other people's opinions of you are not your business. you could change your mind, you know. Number 9, when people show you who they are, listen to them. Despite your better beliefs or whatever you want to call them, people know who they are and they will show you pretty quickly who they are. If someone is doing something right off the bat that you can already tell doesn't vibe with your morals or values, they're probably not your person. And you don't have to force yourself to want to be their person. You have to learn when it's time to release it. Number 10, money can't buy you happiness, but it can affect your mental health. The younger you seek out financial literacy, the better. It is something that I was told many a time when I was a youngling. Not that I'm not still young, but you know what I mean. I wish that I had taken time to understand what a credit card was before I took out a credit card or 5. I wish that I had taken the opportunity to really understand the impact of student loans. Not everyone grows up with the resources to learn financial literacy at a young age. That is okay. When you are like me and you are trying to build generational wealth for the first time in your family, other people in your family aren't going to have the answers because they haven't had that before. You have to be willing to learn new things and fail at them and try them again and maybe fail at them again, but you're still gonna go and you're gonna do it. And I believe in you. If you choose to interact with people who are from higher tax brackets, and I encourage you to, you will notice that they handle money in a very different way. Learn from them. Ask questions because it will help you. Number 11, do not take out a loan if you don't have to. It goes with my last thing. My scholarship paused at NYU because my grade slipped because I was going through a very hard time mentally. When that happened, I was told that I would have to pay out of pocket for that next semester so that I could continue. So I submitted an appeal and I had to pay out of pocket, which meant that I had to take on a loan. The loan was bad, you guys. What started off as a $30,000 loan ended up as like a $50,000 loan. Think about loans before you take them out. Interest is a thing I did not calculate for initially. Please just avoid it if you can. Speaking from experience, it's not worth it. Number 12, community college is a viable option. Use it. When I was looking into colleges, I wish that someone had told me this. I went to NYU to start off with because they gave me a full scholarship. As I said, that ended up not mattering anyway, and I still ended up with student loans. Sometimes the best option for you is community college. It is completely okay. I actually felt like I had a higher quality of education in both of the community colleges that I have attended as opposed to a singular large name school. Granted, my major in both of those schools were very different. I was a STEM major at NYU, and those classes historically are gigantic. So that could be a factor. Maybe I would like the arts program. I don't know, but that was my experience. Just know that community college and transferring later is a great option. It's what I'm going through right now. I'm probably gonna make several videos about it just to make it a little bit more accessible to all of you. Number 13, stop avoiding things. You're prolonging your healing. I did this a lot when I was younger. It is a big lesson that I had to learn. I still sometimes do it. Sometimes I feel like hiding is easier than dealing with the problem. It isn't ever, but shame and embarrassment are very powerful and they can really stunt your growth process. Unfortunately, you have to be uncomfortable in order to really grow. You can't run away from it. Moving will not help you. I've learned the hard way. I moved across the country and it still didn't go away because when the problem is you, it's going to follow you wherever you go. Which brings me to number 14. Your friends are not professionals. When you are younger, if anyone under the age of 18 is watching this, this is especially for you. Sometimes you experience things that are far beyond your years, far beyond your comprehension, and far beyond your capabilities. There are things that children go through, myself included, that are unspeakable and that are absolutely awful and should never happen to anyone, let alone a child. However, your friends, who are also children at that time, aren't equipped to have a lot of the conversations that you need to have. They don't have the resources or the knowledge to really help you through those issues. My best advice is to find someone who you really trust as an adult to confide in and try to get a more professional point of view, or at least an adult point of view, because it is very different than what your friends can offer you. Now, if you're an adult, it still stands. Your friends are not professionals. Sometimes speaking to friends is helpful in a different way. At the end of the day, you should still consider therapy. It exists for a reason. Some of us can't afford it, and that's okay, and that's why we journal. But there is help out there, so please allow yourself to get the help that you deserve. Now, speaking of friendships, number 15, You're responsible for your community. Nurture it. I always watched sitcoms like Friends or How I Met Your Mother or New Girl. Love them, still watch them all the time. Those friend groups don't just happen. There's a lot of energy and effort being put into those friendships on all accounts. Community is built slowly over time. If you want people to show up for you, you have to show up for other people. How do you go out of your way to make other people feel comfortable or seen or heard when they're around you? You never know what's going on in someone's life at the end of the day, but you know what's going on in yours, and you know how you can show up for other people. Make an effort. Otherwise, you reach a point where you look around and you don't have a community because you didn't spend any time building it. And I found myself in that position the last year or so, and that's why I've kind of been spending this past year really dedicated to building that community. I'm proud to have become someone who is able to have that now. It's cool. And I'm still building it. I'm still building it every day. But just know that it is your responsibility to build it and to grow it. Number 16 is one of my favorites. Holidays are up to you as an adult. You get the opportunities to create new traditions. You get to decide how you want to decorate, how you want every holiday to look like. And if you want to make up new holidays, if you want to make up new traditions, if you want to hold graduations for yourself, which is something that my best friend and I have done. In the past year, we had a moment where we both felt very accomplished, like we had really learned a lesson and we were kind of moving on to this next chapter of our lives. So to celebrate, we kind of had our own little mini graduation. We both got our own forms of ice cream. She lives in LA and I live in New York. So we had our own solo ice cream dates and we talked about it. And that was our graduation, and we got to reflect on the amazing things that we accomplished. That is a great example of something. Don't let whimsy die, gang. As an adult, it's real easy because you have so much going on and you have work and you have bills to pay and debt and all of these responsibilities. I mean, I hope you don't have debt, but you lose sight of it so quickly. I'm gonna get emotional about it, but you lose sight of it so quickly. Do not lose your whimsy. You gotta be the gas behind it, but I promise it will be so worth it. Number 17 is that every day you are given a new opportunity to assess how things are going and pivot. Take a moment every day. Are you happy? What are the ways that you are happy in? Are you unhappy? What are the ways that you are unhappy in? How can you make one change tomorrow that will help you feel a bit happier? Keep yourself honest. That's the only thing you're obligated to do. Number 18, when you do start changing, not everyone will show up for you. Not everyone's gonna change with you. This is how you start to lose friendships or outgrow friendships, as you might hear. It is a hard process and it is a painful one. Your growth is worth that sacrifice. And you have to believe that it's all going to work out at the end. Number 19, it is so important to build a professional network with people who do what you want to do. It's important for you to get insight into the industry you want to go into the work that you want to go into. What is their lifestyle like? What's their daily routine like? Are they able to hold a routine? Do they miss a lot of holidays? You need to know all of these things because it has to align with who you are as a person. My best friend said an amazing thing today. She said, I wanted the career before I knew myself. And now that I know myself, I don't want to do that career path. Your path will look different depending on who you are. Do not put so much pressure onto forcing a path. Figure out if it's really for you, if it's really what you want, and then go for it. But learn first. If it's a life commitment, you want to make sure that you're happy. Number 20, you're more qualified than you think you are. I am the person that has gotten in my way the most in my journey, in my development, in my growth, just because I didn't believe I was qualified, so I didn't go for it. And then someone who was less qualified for me went for it. And the difference is they got it because they went for it, and I didn't because I didn't. Don't be the reason why you hear a no. Don't be your no. Be your yes. Number 21, if you keep hiding, you'll stay hidden. I'm raising my hand. Some of us have visibility wounds. Some of us are afraid of being seen, but some of us deserve to be seen. And some of us have stood out our entire lives and have never had quite so much luck just fitting in anywhere. And that's because we're not meant to. Stop hiding. You're worth being seen. Number 22, if it's your dream, it's worth chasing. No one can take that away from you. You just have to believe it more than anyone else. Number 23, you don't need to know the how. The how is not what matters. All that matters is doing it. If you don't know where to start, Google it. There isn't a right or wrong. You learn by doing. You need experience. Not everything can be found in a textbook or solved through AI. You have to do it yourself. My best example of that for myself was doing Miss New York. I had no idea how I was going to do it. I had no idea how I was going to afford to do anything, any portion of it, but I did it. And I won Miss Congeniality. And it was freaking amazing. And I'll be doing a video on that soon. Stay tuned. Number 24. Sometimes you're not the problem. Sometimes it's the room you're in. Sometimes you are the problem. Learn to take accountability when you are and learn the difference between the two. I've had many moments where I felt like the worst person on the face of the earth. I was in the wrong rooms. I've had many moments when I felt like the most amazing person. I was in the right rooms. I've had moments where I've really messed up. That was my bad. You take accountability and you move forward. It's really important to learn the difference though. Number 25, find your color spots. There are things in my life that bring me relentless joy, and I like to refer to them as my color spots because they make my life colorful. So some of those things are like Disney, going to theme parks, magic and fairies and like mythical creatures and a good old rom-com. I suggest you do this. Have a list in your back pocket of these color spots, and you keep those for when things get hard. If I've had a really bad day, I know how to help soothe myself. If I'm sick, I know which one of my color spots normally helps with that and helps make me feel better. The most important thing is to never feel ashamed for what your color spots are, because they are yours. And they add special colors into your rainbow. So you can never be ashamed of them because they can only add beauty. Number 26, life is a series of ebb and flow. It can't be all good all the time. Real talk from someone who is 28. There are going to be many things that you will go through in your adulthood, as I start to tear up already. You will experience anger and sadness and grief and pain in ways that you might not have ever imagined. You will have grieving periods. There will be disappointments. There will be heartbreaks. But I like to believe that the universe keeps its balance. And in my experience, I've learned that as deep as my negative emotions can get, my positive emotions can too. The series of checks and balances is just kind of part of life. I've experienced some awful things. I've experienced some amazing things. It is always worth it because it is all life and it is all worth living. Number 27, comparison is the thief of joy. I still, to this day, find myself comparing myself to other people. It's hard to monitor your thoughts all the time, and social media has made it so much easier to compare yourself to other people. In truth, if there's someone that you can only spend time ruminating over and just comparing yourself to nonstop, do yourself the favor and just unfollow them. It's never worth your mental state. Your creativity is blocked when you compare because you're trying to dissect someone else's path and it's not yours. So my biggest tip for fighting that comparison urge, use your comparisons as a tool. It helps you identify what it is that you're missing from your life, what it is that you wish that you had, and that's a good thing. You can say, okay, I'm comparing myself to this person because they have X, Y, and Z. Maybe it's a larger following. Maybe it's higher quality editing. Maybe it's a job you want. You can use them as a study case. And you can say, all right, if this is what I want, how do I get that for myself? And then you research. The most important thing is to remember that you are not them and you will have your own path and your version of that might look different for you. So you owe yourself the honor of figuring out what that looks like for you. And my light's dying. Okay. Number 28, do the things that scare you often. I would not be where I am today if I did not look fear in the face or this light and say every day that I'm not going to let it get me down. I am terrified all the time. Every time I try something new, I am scared. And if I let that stop me every time, I'd never get anywhere. It is so important to put yourself in positions to be vulnerable and to be open and to try something new and not be amazing at it and experience that and really allow yourself to marinate in it. A no or a rejection is not the end of the world. It is the beginning of you finding your yes, even if it's scary. I grew up believing that I was a star and that I would be a star. And I spent a lot of my younger years chasing that, fearing that it would never come. The truth is, you are already a star, but the glow comes from within you. And it's waiting for you to give yourself permission to shine. That is everything. I hope that this was insightful for you. Sometimes I think it's important to just hear it from someone else who's been through it. If you ever have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments or reach out. My social media links are listed below. I've been there. I'm just making it into this next stage of adulthood and it's super weird. So this is a great moment of reflection for me. I will be posting a video regarding Miss New York probably very soon. As we head into college season, I've started filming already some college tours that I've been doing and looking into, as well as my educational experience and my time at NYU, if anyone's interested in that. Make sure to subscribe so that you know when they're coming. And if this video was helpful to you, please give it a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. Thank you so much. I will see you all real soon. Until next time. Bye!